Picture this. You're lying there, the room's quiet, the air feels soft, and you're both catching your breath after an intense moment. You might think this is when the connection peaks, but here's the truth. It's what happens next that can make or break how deeply a man bonds with you. Most women miss this window, not because they're doing anything wrong, but because no one talks about how crucial the moments after sex are for building emotional intimacy. Today, I'm spilling the tea on 5 emotional needs men have after sex. Needs they rarely say out loud but feel in their bones. If you can tap into these, you're not just deepening the physical spark, you're unlocking his heart in a way that makes you unforgettable. Let's dive in. First, spicy ladies. Let's talk about a man's need for emotional safety. After sex, you're probably hyper-aware of your own vulnerability, wondering what's going through his head. Does he still feel close? Did this shift things? But here's what you might not know. He's vulnerable too, even if he doesn't show it. In that quiet moment, he's got questions swirling. Was I enough for her? Does she still want me now that we've crossed this line? Was this just physical for her? These aren't things he's likely to say, but they're real, especially if he's into you. Men aren't taught to voice their emotional needs. They're told to tough it out, stay stoic, or distract themselves. But after sex, those needs hit hard. He's wondering if he can let his guard down, or if he needs to brace himself. Your energy in that moment is everything. I'm not saying you need to play therapist or smother him with reassurance. It's simpler than that. Just stay present. A soft touch on his arm, a warm look at his eyes, or even just staying close without rushing off to check your phone can speak volumes. It says, "You're not just a body to me. I see you and I'm still here." That kind of presence creates a safety net most men rarely feel. When he feels emotionally safe, he's more likely to open up, not just in that moment, but over time. That's the foundation for trust, connection, and even commitment. Miss this, and you might wonder why he pulls away after what felt like a perfect night. Nail it, and you're the woman he can't stop thinking about. Next up is a man's need to feel masculine. Not just during the heat of the moment, but after it's over. You might think sex itself is the ultimate ego boost, but it's not that simple. Sure, the act can make him feel powerful, but what really cements his sense of masculinity is how you respond when the dust settles. Men grow up hearing their worth is tied to performance, how well they provide, protect, or satisfy. That pressure doesn't vanish in the bedroom. After sex, he's quietly asking himself, did I make her feel something real? Was I enough for her? If your energy feels distant or indifferent, he might spiral, thinking he fell short. But if you show genuine admiration, not for his technique, but for who he is and how he made you feel, it's like flipping a switch. Try something simple like, I love how you make me feel so safe, or being with you feels so good. These aren't just compliments. They validate his identity as your man, not just a guy who showed up. It's not about stroking his ego. It's about recognizing the emotional connection he created. When he feels that, he ties intimacy to bonding, not just physical release. That's what makes him want to keep showing up for you, not just in bed, but in your life. Your warmth becomes a mirror he looks into, and when he sees a man who's valued, he's hooked. Now, let's get into something that trips a lot of women up. The moment when he gets quiet after sex. You're lying there, still buzzing from connection, but suddenly he's silent. Maybe rolls over or closes his eyes. Your brain might kick into overdrive. What's wrong? Did I mess up? Is he done with me? But here's the deal. That silence isn't always what it seems. For a lot of men, it's not detachment. It's what I call emotional stillness. After the intensity of sex, he's processing a mix of physical release and emotional overload. It's like his mind needs a beat to reset. Unlike women, who might want to talk or cuddle to keep the connection going, many men find that bond in quiet presence, not words. The bold move here is to resist the urge to fill that silence with questions or overthinking. Don't chase him with what's on your mind, or pull away because you feel insecure. Instead, stay close without pressure. Rest your head on his chest, let your hand linger on his arm, or just breathe together in the quiet. That non-demanding closeness says, I'm here, and I don't need you to perform or explain. I just like being with you. That's powerful because men rarely get to just be without proving something. When you give him that space while staying present, you become a safe haven. He'll feel it, even if he doesn't say it, and that's what pulls him closer. That's the moment he starts thinking, she gets me in a way no one else does. All right, let's keep diving into these emotional needs that can make you unforgettable to a man. We're talking about those quiet moments after sex where the right energy can turn a physical connection into something deeper. Let's pick up where we left off and explore more ways to tap into his heart. One of the biggest mistakes women make after sex is turning the moment into an emotional checklist. It's natural. Your mind's racing, wondering if he's still into you, if the connection was as real for him as it was for you. But sometimes that leads to questions like, was that okay? What are you thinking? Are we good? Or maybe you're trying to gauge him. You got quiet. Are you pulling away? These come from a place of wanting reassurance, but they can feel like a pop quiz to him. Right after sex, most men aren't ready to unpack their feelings verbally. They're still processing the intensity. If you lean into evaluation mode, even unintentionally, it can make him feel judged, like he's being graded on a performance he didn't know was being scored. The bold move here is to swap evaluation for admiration. Instead of asking him to validate the moment, share what you felt. Try something like, that felt so close, I'm still smiling, or I love how you make me feel so at ease. It's not about flattery. It's about letting him know the moment mattered to you emotionally, not just physically. This kind of honesty pulls him in because it shows you're not keeping score. You're just present in connection. When he feels admired instead of tested, he relaxes, and that's when he starts to open up. He'll think back to how you made him feel seen, not scrutinized, and that's what makes you stick in his mind. You become the woman who feels safe, not the one who put him on the spot. Now, let's talk about a need that runs deeper than most men even realize. The craving for emotional grounding, that sense of home after sex. This isn't about literal place or a promise of forever. It's about you creating a space where he feels accepted for who he is, not what he did in bed. After sex, a man's guard is down. He's raw, exposed, and often wondering if he can just be without proving himself. Most people rush past this moment, either seeking validation or pulling away emotionally. But the woman who can hold space with quiet strength, she's unforgettable. It's not about saying something profound. It's the way you rest your hand on his shoulder, the way you stay close without demanding he fill the silence. Maybe you just lie there, you're breathing in sync, and give him a soft smile that says, I'm good right here with you. That kind of presence tells him he doesn't have to perform, impress, or be anything other than himself. It's rare because men are so used to tying their worth to what they do, fixing, providing, satisfying. When you let him exhale into that moment, you become a sanctuary. He'll feel it in his bones, even if he doesn't have the words for it, and he'll think about how you made him feel at peace when he's alone later. That's the kind of connection that makes him want to come back, not just for the physical, but for the way you make him feel whole. Another key need is for a man to feel chosen, not just for the moment, but for who he is beyond the bedroom. After sex, he's often wondering if he was just a means to an end or if you actually see him as your man. This isn't about ego. It's about his desire to matter to you. Most women don't realize how powerful it is to show a man he's valued for more than his performance. You can do this with small, intentional gestures. Maybe you say, I love how you make me laugh, even when we're just lying here. Or, you've got this way of making me feel so comfortable. It's not about the act itself. It's about acknowledging the emotional spark he brings. This is bold because it takes confidence to be vulnerable and specific without worrying about seeming too forward. When you show him he's chosen for who he is, not just what he does, you create a bond that goes beyond the physical. He'll replay those words, that feeling of being wanted, and it'll make him want to keep showing up for you. That's how you become the woman he doesn't just want, but needs in his life. Let's talk about the power of nonverbal connection in those post-sex moments. Words are great, but sometimes it's the silent signals that hit the hardest. Men are often more attuned to physical cues than verbal ones after intimacy. They're in a sensory state, not a chatty one. A bold move is to lean into that with subtle, intentional touch. Think of tracing your fingers lightly along his arm while you're lying there, or resting your head against his chest without saying a word. It's not clingy or demanding. It's just you being present in your body, showing you're still connected. This kind of touch says, "I'm here and this moment feels good." It's powerful because it cuts through the noise of his thoughts without asking him to perform or explain himself. Most men don't get that kind of quiet acceptance, and it makes you stand out. He'll feel that warmth, that closeness. And when he's alone later, he'll think about how your touch made him feel grounded. That's the kind of memory that pulls him back to you, craving more of that unspoken bond. Finally, there's something incredibly bold about not rushing the moment. Most people, men and women, tend to break the spell after sex, either by jumping into practical stuff like checking their phone or starting a heavy, "what does this mean?" talk. But a woman who can stay in the afterglow, savoring the moment without forcing it to be anything more, that's magnetic. You don't need to fill the silence or push for clarity right then. Just let the moment breathe. Maybe you smile at him. Maybe you stretch out lazily and say, "This feels nice, doesn't it?" It's not about playing it cool. It's about being comfortable enough to enjoy the stillness together. That ease shows confidence, and it creates a space where he feels safe to let his guard down. He'll think about how you didn't rush or overthink, how you just let the connection exist, and that'll make him want to chase that feeling again. You become the woman who feels like a rare escape from the chaos of the world. Spicy ladies, let's keep the momentum going and dive deeper into how you can tap into those post-sex moments to build a connection that lingers in his heart. These emotional needs men have after intimacy are rarely talked about, but they're key to making you unforgettable. Let's jump back in. One of the most powerful things you can do after sex is show genuine curiosity about him. Not in a probing, heavy way, but with a light, warm interest that makes him feel seen beyond the physical. After intimacy, men are often in a raw, open state, and a woman who can ask a thoughtful question can deepen the bond like nothing else. Instead of defaulting to small talk or silence, try something like, "What's something you're really proud of right now?" Or, "What's been on your mind lately when you're just chilling?" These aren't interrogations. They're invitations to share a piece of himself. Maybe you mentioned a stressful work project earlier. You could say, "How's that project you were talking about?" You seem pretty into it. It shows you were listening before, and you're still tuned in now. This is bold because it takes confidence to steer the moment towards something deeper without pushing too hard. When you show you care about his inner world, not just a moment you just shared, he feels value for more than his body. He'll think about how you made him feel understood, and that'll keep you in his head long after night ends. That's how you become the woman he wants to open up to again and again. Next, let's talk about the need for playfulness after sex. It might sound counterintuitive. After all, the moment feels so serious and vulnerable, but a little lightheartedness can be a game changer. Men often feel pressure to perform or stay in a certain role. Even after intimacy, a woman who can bring a spark of fun into the afterglow, she stands out. Maybe you tease him gently about something silly like, "So, you're telling me you're that guy who steals all the blankets?" with a playful nudge. Or you challenge him to a quick thumb wrestling match while you're lying there laughing together. It's not about forcing humor. It's about showing you're comfortable enough to keep things light. This kind of playfulness is bold because it breaks the tension without breaking the connection. It says, "I'm here, I'm into you, and we don't have to be serious all the time." That ease makes him feel like he can relax, like he doesn't have to be on for you. He'll replay those moments of laughter, that spicy lady energy you bring, and it'll make him crave being around you again. You become the woman who makes intimacy feel like an adventure, not a test. Another big need is for a man to feel respected, not just as a lover, but as a person. After sex, he's hyper-aware of how you see him, wondering if you value him beyond the physical. Most women don't realize how much a small gesture of respect can shift the dynamic. This isn't about praising his performance. It's about acknowledging his effort or care in a way that feels real. Say, he took time to make you feel comfortable during the night. You might say, "I really appreciate how you always check in with me. It means a lot." Or if he's been open with you, try, "I respect how real you are about stuff. It's refreshing." These words aren't fluff. They show you see him as a man worth respecting. not just a moment of pleasure. This is bold because it takes emotional intelligence to recognize his efforts and call them out without overdoing it. When he feels respected, he ties that feeling to you, and it makes him want to step up even more. He'll think about how you made him feel valued, and that's what pulls him closer, making you the woman he doesn't just desire but trusts deeply. Let's talk about the power of mirroring his energy, not copying him, but matching his emotional rhythm in those quiet moments. After sex, men often need a beat to process, and their energy might shift. Maybe he's quiet, maybe he's affectionate, maybe he's introspective. A woman who can sense that and flow with it, instead of pushing against it, creates a connection that feels effortless. If he's lying there quietly, don't rush to fill the space. Just lie close, let your breathing sink, and give him that calm presence. If he's feeling cuddly, lean into it with a soft touch or a warm smile. If he cracks a joke, match it with your own playful vibe. This is bold because it takes confidence to trust the moment and not force your own agenda. You're showing you're attuned to him, that you're not trying to control the vibe but enhance it. That kind of emotional flexibility is rare, and it makes him feel like you're in sync, like you get him without needing to spell it out. He'll think about how easy it felt to be with you, how you didn't push or pull away, and that'll make him want to keep you close. You become the woman who feels like a partner, not a puzzle. Finally, there's something incredibly bold about letting the moment be enough. After sex, it's tempting to start overthinking. What does this mean? Where are we going? But a woman who can just be in the afterglow, without rushing to define or dissect it, leaves a lasting mark. You don't need to ask for reassurance or push for a big talk. Instead, you might say, "This feels so good, just lying here with you," or even nothing at all, just a content sigh and a relaxed vibe. That kind of presence shows you're secure enough to enjoy the now without needing to lock down the future. It's bold because it takes trust in yourself and a connection to let things unfold naturally. When you do this, you create a space where he feels free to be himself, not pressured to perform or promise anything. He'll think about how rare that felt, how you didn't demand more than the moment could give, and that'll make him want to give you more on his own. You become the woman he associates with peace, not pressure, and that's what makes him keep coming back. All right, let's keep rolling and dive deeper into how you can meet those emotional needs men have after sex, creating a connection that makes you unforgettable. These moments are where the real magic happens, where you can turn a physical spark into something that lingers in his heart. Let's jump in. One of the most powerful needs a man has after intimacy is to feel like he's more than just a physical experience, like he's truly seen for who he is. After sex, he's vulnerable, wondering if you value him beyond the moment. A bold move is to show genuine interest in his inner world, not by interrogating, but by sharing a soft, curious moment. Say you're lying there, and instead of letting the silence stretch, you ask, "What's something that's been making you smile lately?" Or, "What's a memory you love revisiting?" It's light, but it invites him to open up without pressure. Maybe you mentioned a hobby earlier. You say, "You talk about loving those hikes. What's your favorite spot?" This shows you're paying attention to him as a person, not just a guy you were just intimate with. It's bold because it takes confidence to steer the moment deeper when it's tempting to stay surface level. When he feels you're curious about his heart, not just his body, it hits different. He'll think about how you made him feel known, and that'll keep you in his mind long after the night's over. You become the woman he wants to share more with, not just in bed but in life. Next, let's talk about the need for reassurance. Not the loud, verbal kind, but the quiet kind that comes from your presence. After sex, a man's often wrestling with unspoken questions. Did I make her happy? Am I still wanted now that the moment's passed? Most women don't realize how much a small gesture can answer those questions. A bold move is to offer that reassurance naturally, without him having to ask. Maybe you snuggle closer and say, "I feel so good right now," or you give his hand a gentle squeeze and a warm smile. It's not about over-the-top praise. It's about showing you're still connected, still choosing him in the afterglow. This is powerful because it cuts through his insecurities without making him feel like he's under a microscope. It's bold because it takes emotional awareness to sense what he needs and give it without overthinking. When you do this, you create a moment he'll replay later, how you made him feel wanted without him having to prove anything. That's the kind of warmth that makes him crave your presence, not just for physical, but for the way you make him feel whole. Another key need is for a man to feel like he's part of something mutual, not just a one-sided exchange. After sex, he's often wondering if the connection was as real for you as it was for him. A woman who can show that mutuality, that shared experience, stands out. Try saying something like, "I love how we just click like that," or "There's something about us together that feels so easy." It's not about stroking his ego. It's about acknowledging the we in the moment. Maybe you share a small laugh about something only the two of you would get, like an inside joke from earlier. This is bold because it takes confidence to highlight the connection without worrying about seeming too forward. It shows you're not just in it for yourself. You're in it together. He'll think about how you made the moment feel like a partnership, how you saw him as part of something special, and that'll pull him back to you. You become the woman he feels in sync with, not just a fleeting encounter. Let's talk about the power of letting him lead in the afterglow, not in a submissive way, but by giving him space to initiate without pressure. After sex, men often feel a mix of vulnerability and instinct to take charge, to feel like they're still the man in the moment. A bold move is to let him guide the vibe while staying fully present. If he pulls you closer, lean into it. If he starts talking, engage without taking over. If he's quiet, match that energy with a calm, warm presence. Say he reaches for your hand. Don't pull away or rush to fill the silence. Just let happen and give a soft smile. This isn't about playing small. It's about showing you trust his lead while still being your confident, spicy lady self. It's bold because it takes security to let go of control without losing your power. When you do this, you create a space where he feels strong and valued, and he'll think about how you made him feel capable without pushing him. That's what makes him want to step up for you again, not just in the moment, but in the days that follow. Finally, there's something incredibly bold about embracing the imperfection of the moment. After sex, it's easy to get caught up in wanting everything to feel flawless. Perfect connection, perfect words, perfect vibe. But a woman who can roll with the messiness, who can laugh at a clumsy moment or shrug off a fleeting awkwardness, is unforgettable. Maybe the sheets are tangled, or one of you says something goofy. Instead of tensing up, you chuckle and say, "Well, that's us keeping it real, huh?" Or if the moment feels heavy, you lighten it with, "Okay, we're not solving world peace here. Let's just enjoy this." That kind of ease is bold because it shows you're not chasing perfection. You're comfortable with the raw, human side of intimacy. It makes him feel like he doesn't have to be perfect either, and that's a relief most men don't even know they need. He'll think about how you made the moment feel real, not staged, and that'll make him crave more of your authentic energy. You become the woman who feels like a safe, exciting place to land. All right, let's keep this going and dive into the final stretch of how to meet a man's emotional needs after sex, making you the woman he can't stop thinking about. These moments after intimacy are where you can deepen the connection and leave a mark that lasts. Let's jump in. One of the deepest needs a man has after sex is to feel like he's enough, not just in bed, but as a person. After the intensity fades, he's often quietly wondering if he lived up to your expectations, if he's still the man you want. A bold move is to show him he's more than enough with a simple, heartfelt gesture. Maybe you look at him and say, "You make this so easy to enjoy," or "I love how you just get me." It's not about praising his performance. It's about affirming the connection you share. Or maybe you just rest your hand on his chest and say, "This feels so right." That kind of warmth is bold because it takes confidence to be vulnerable without needing him to say it back. It shows you're secure enough to express what you feel without fishing for validation. When he feels like he's enough in your eyes, it hits something deep. He'll think about how you made him feel whole, not judge, and that'll make him want to keep showing up for you. You become the woman who makes him feel like he doesn't have to prove anything, and that's rare. Next up is a need for a sense of partnership, a feeling that you're in this together, not just two people who share a moment. After sex, men often crave a sign that the connection wasn't one-sided, that it meant something to you too. A bold move is to highlight that shared vibe with a small, intentional comment. Try something like, "We're kind of great together, aren't we?" Or, "I love how this feels like us." It's not heavy. It's just a nod to the bond you're building. Maybe you reference something from earlier in the night, like, "You and that cheesy joke from dinner, I'm still laughing." This shows you're carrying the moment with you, that it's not just about the physical. It's bold because it takes guts to own the connection, without worrying about how he'll take it. When he feels like you're both in it, he starts to see you as a partner, not just a fling. He'll replay that moment, how you made it feel like a team effort, and it'll pull him back to you, wanting more of that us feeling. Let's talk about the power of quiet confidence in the afterglow. After sex, a man's often hyper-aware of the energy you're giving off, and any hint of insecurity or neediness can shift the vibe. A woman who can stay grounded, radiating a calm, spicy lady energy, is magnetic. You don't need to fill the silence with chatter or seek reassurance. Just be there, comfortable in your skin. Maybe you stretch out beside him, give a little smile and say, "This is nice." Or maybe you don't say anything at all. Just let your relaxed presence speak for itself. This is bold because it shows you're not chasing his approval or overthinking the moment. You're secure enough to let it be what it is. That kind of confidence makes him feel safe to relax too, like he doesn't have to perform or fix anything. He'll think about how easy it felt to be with you, how you didn't push or pull away, and that'll make him crave your presence again. You become the woman who feels like a calm in the storm, someone he can't wait to come back to. Another key need is for a man to feel like he's left a mark, not just physically, but emotionally. After sex, he's wondering if he made a difference to you, if the moment meant something. A bold move is to let him know it did, in a way that's genuine and understated. You might say, "I'm still feeling you," with a playful smile, or "You've got me smiling like an idiot right now." It's not about over-the-top compliments. It's about showing the moment mattered to you. Maybe you share a small, specific detail, like, "I love how you held me just now, it felt so good." This kind of acknowledgement is bold because it takes vulnerability to express what you're feeling without worrying about seeming too much. When he knows he's left an emotional imprint, it boosts his connection to you. He'll think about how you noticed him, how you valued the moment, and that'll make him want to create more of those moments with you. You become the woman he associates with feeling alive and wanted. Finally, the boldest move of all is creating a sense of home in your presence. Not a literal place, but feeling where he can let go and just be himself. After sex, a man's raw, his guard's down, and what he craves most is a space where he feels accepted, not for what he did, but for who he is. You create this with your energy, staying warm, present, and unhurried. Maybe you lie close, you're breathing in sync, and give him a look that says, "I'm right here, and this is enough." Or maybe you murmur, "I could stay like this for a while." It's not about grand gestures. It's about showing you're comfortable with the quiet with him, with the moment. This is bold because it takes emotional strength to hold space without pushing for more or pulling away. When you give him that feeling of home, he feels safe to be vulnerable, to be real. He'll think about how you made him feel at peace, like he didn't have to perform or prove anything, and that's what makes him want to keep coming back to you. You become the woman he doesn't just want to sleep with, but the one he wants to wake up next to. So, here's the bottom line. The moments after sex are where you can turn a spark into something lasting. It's not about chasing him or playing games. It's about showing up with warmth, confidence, and emotional intelligence. Try one of these moves next time you're in that quiet afterglow. Notice how it feels to meet him where he's at, to create a space where he feels seen, valued, and safe. You don't need to be perfect or say the right thing. Just be you, boldly and softly. That's how you become the woman he can't stop thinking about, the one he doesn't just want for a night, but for a lifetime.